And bam, how's it going, family? How's it going? Once again, this is Xerox Twins going live for the bereaved, sick, and shut in. We always got something going on. What do we have going on today? Man, again, tonight is Wednesday, and you know what's on Wednesdays? You know what I'm saying? The best live ever. You know what I'm saying? What we love, we laugh, and we learn how to live our best life together. Hey, man, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, man, we bringing it to you. Man, we bring on the resources. We bring on the businesses. We bring on the philosophers, bro. What you call them? Man, I call them philosophers. Lovers of words. Lovers of words, some man. Just like to talk. So we bring on the experiences of others so that you can learn how to get over the hump. Per se, you know what I'm saying? Today Wednesday, I guess we are getting over the hump. But anyways, man, listen. Of course, bro, pass me that pillow over there, man. Man, listen. Y'all already know that this show is dedicated to my beloved daughter. You know what I'm saying? Lost her life to domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? A deadly situation. Hey, man, however, you have to get out of it. Much love and respect. This is Tonisha Danae Harris. Of course, I'm Antonio Dean Harris, also known as Tone Capone, and this is Karma Capone. Again, hey, man, whatever it may take, whether you're the assailant or the victim, get out of it alive. You know what I'm saying? Again, family, much love and respect. Wednesday nights, first of all, we got to show homage to our super producer. Man. You know what I'm saying? Dear Sounds, make sure that y'all look him up. Derek Simmons, to be exact. Dear Sounds, and man, tonight we have a show, and we want you guys to chime in, give us your comments, your likes, your loves, and what have you. Of course, y'all subscribe to Xerox Twins on social media. There's Xerox start with a Z and ends with a Z, and it ends with a Z. Again, family. Hey, man, we're here doing our due diligence to make sure that you know what's going on in the Metroplex and abroad. Hey, man, we have, man, if you haven't, make sure you go back and check out our shows. We had on, man, we done had on phlebotomists. We done had on teenagers going into adulthood and what have we have had many shows. Make sure that you go and check them out. But tonight, man, listen, we're going to talk about some relationships. And we got an expert that's going to come on and shock your mind. Very informative. Of course, we don't introduce. We allow them to what, brother? Introduce themselves. We allow them to introduce themselves. Why? They know themselves better than we know them, man. But listen, we're going to get to know her a little bit, man, to the utmost. And when I tell you, we call them Queen God. You know what I'm saying? The feminine energy. Feminine energy, man. Again, coming on and doing her thing. First of all, hey, man, listen. We want you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and why you're here, babe.
Yes, I'm known as Coach Tasha Mack. I recently got my doctorate of business. I reset the disruption that a lot your leadership, therapy, as well as coaching cannot fix. And the reason for that is because few have been taught about the internal design of who we truly are. And so I'm also known as the grief pathway doctor. And I just finished writing a book. And that book title is Am I the Drama or Am I the Disruption? And we talk about relationship and where the fall of disruption in the internal structure all begin.
Wow.
And yes.
Man. Wow, we're gonna learn more about your book. But first we're gonna call in the doctor behind the patients, Mr. Dear Sounds. To hey, listen, Ms. Tasha, I had ran across this clip, and it caught my attention because it talked a little bit about relationships and how they're viewed and how they're structured, how our environment coach us and cultivate us and to be in and doing certain things and what have you. They guide us. Guide us. Yes. And so I would love to hear this. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, we're going to talk about your book, what inspired you, what We're gonna talk about that. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Let's get it.
Be incompatible.
Men and women are having such a hard time getting in relationships with each other.
Because we were socialized to be incompatible.
Wait, what?
Little girls are taught to want the exact opposite of what little boys are taught to want. This is also where DPDS arrives from, Disney Princess Derangement Syndrome. Girls are taught to value monogamy, pursue commitment, and save herself for marriage, where all that purity nonsense comes from, right? Boys are taught to delay marriage for as long as possible, to sleep with as many girls as he can and gain experience. Girls are socialized to talk about their feelings, process emotions. Boys are taught to suppress their emotions. Girls are taught that their value is in their looks and likability. Boys, it's not any of those things. It's just success, it's accomplishments. And if anything, girls' accomplishments are diminished. Girls are taught partnership is the ultimate goal. Boys are taught acquisition is. And the worst part, you were taught to want the very thing that requires his participation to receive. And you cannot achieve this fantasy that they've indoctrinated you into believing alone, which means you are dependent on his willingness to play his role. Problem is, he was never socialized to do that. In fact, the only suitable partners for boys are other boys, and the only suitable partner for girls are other girls. And this is not the way to socialize mates. Obviously, I'm talking about straight couples here. Women want a man that will treat her right. Men want a woman that will put up with him treating her wrong. So how would these two people ever find alignment?
Well, do you have a boyfriend, Dr.
I have a husband.
You're married?
Excuse you? Why do you sound so surprised?
Oh, just because by the way you talk, I think
That I am selective, precise, and immune to nonsense pathology. That is correct. And my husband fits the criteria of an exceptional mate. Or else I would remain single, because that is the other ideal option. Companionship is not a bad thing. It is not a weakness to desire that. We are humans. Social creatures want partners. The quality of the partner, though, is what matters. Before him, I remained single because that was the better option. A man had to present himself as better than my life when I was single, and my life was fabulous. So he had to be incredible. But know this, no man is above the love I have for myself. This cannot happen, because at the end of the day, you never know what a man can turn into. You don't know what they do. They contort and twist and shake up on you all the time. So if he turns into something I did not consent to at the beginning of our union, something that now harms me, our union will dissolve. I will take my leave. And as he should, if he is no longer happy in the relationship. But happiness takes effort and chemistry. If we love each other properly, that is not a difficulty to achieve.
can I talk to him?
Talk to him about what?
He asked, why is it that men and women are having such a hard time getting in relationships with each other?
Because we were socialized to be incompatible.
Wait, what?
Little girls are taught to want the exact opposite of what little boys are taught to want. This is also where DPDS arrives from, Disney Princess Derangement Syndrome. Girls are taught to value monogamy.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Man, this is
Ooh, this she
wow.
brutally said what she wanted.
Well, one of the things I well, you know, we're talking about culturally cultivated, and I believe that simply because a lot of times we are more or less guilty. No, we are said to make ghettos, and I say we are bred to make ghettos. And reason being is because the ghettos are being formed around us inadvertently by us. And so in relationships, I believe there's a mentality that is formulated as well. We are like, I want to say lab rats being cultivated in such a diminishing,
environment.
right, a diminishing environment that calls us to act and do what we do, act and believe that which what we do and what
I think
have.
they call it socializing. It's socializing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Miss Mac,
Yes, sir.
Man,
Man, listen, I know you got some powerful thoughts on that. Tell us, give us from a female or a feminine perspective, what does that say to you?
I'm going to say this. What we have thought to understand about relationships may not been the whole full truth. And the reason why I speak on is because it's hard to have these conversations when you've been 20 years in observational analysis, structure coaching analysis, and understanding relationships and the identity of relationships, right? And I say this to say that for generations, been taught to address what is visible, which is what she's speaking on: behavior, communication, mindset, performance. But once again, there has been few that have been taught how to understand what sits beneath it. And this is where most of the transformation attempts come short when it comes to relationships. And the reason why is you have to understand how the identity form in order for you to understand relationships, and how the decision of your identity created that fracture, and how the fracture shaped your patterns, which relationships, your decisions, in your life. And most importantly, the one we ended with was how to return to alignment. We talk about being aligned, but I'm gonna piggyback back off of our conversations when we was talking about metaphysics and the beginning. So it's returning back to that alignment, and what does that alignment look like? And so in this book, we address that the first breakthrough of human structure was between Adam and Eve. So from the fall of Adam and Eve, understand that Adam, right, he was in relation with God. He had that power, he had a dominion. God gave him woman, right? The woman was connected to who? To the man. But there was a distortion that took place. And in that distortion, it was the voice. Okay. And that voice introduced that destruction. Did God really say? So that question didn't introduce information. What happened is it introduced the instability. And when that got introduced, that disrupted everything internal about. And so understand that man lost the clarity and became burdened with toil. Woman, she lost her internal safety and became burdened with emotional and relational strain. So get to the root of things and not the behavior.
You kind of breaking up. I'm sorry.
I don't know why.
Right. We don't know how she froze up. Well, Miss Mack, I'm thinking that you're speaking. Relationships to me are those who are formed and formed accordingly. Let me tell her, make sure she called back. But anyway, formed accordingly. I believe that what she's speaking of is that something intervened in that relationship. And so with that being said, could it be the intervention of our thought patterns of what we want things and how we want things to happen before they happen, that caused us to shape and mold our children or those behind us a certain way in relationships?
Yeah. She spoke of Adam and Eve. And sometimes that distortion can be the naivety, as Adam and Eve, the naivety of that feminine energy.
Mhm.
It could be a distortion from that standpoint, because when there's more than one voice speaking to one,
Mhm.
then there is, first of all, yeah, it's cacophony.
Right.
You know, music that's not two different sounds trying to infiltrate the mind at one time, two different chords or whatever, and it becomes noise.
Okay.
It becomes noise, and that can also be a distraction when it comes to the homostasis of the femininity.
Mhm.
And the way that she spoke about it, I think that's where most of the setback between the relationships, am I correct, was the distortion of the word or the sound that she heard. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, the
Yeah.
distortion of, and it was what was it? That the question was not about information, it was about shifting the authority. And because that moment of truth becomes something that can be reconsidered, so the identity is no longer anchored. So because she listened to the serpent, it distorted, right? And it shift the authority, right?
Oh wow.
So yeah.
So can we in turn say the same with us, more or less leading, almost like leading the witness, leading our ideal of what a relationship is versus the relationship forming itself by itself, us telling our little girls to watch out for the little boys, and telling our little boys to go chase the little girls. Is that formulating the same distortion or that voice that you're speaking of?
So this is what I'm going to say. If we've never been taught, are we actually teaching what is right? And how do we know that what we've been saying? Because we keep repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. So there's something, and it's not a black and white thing. This is something the internal design. So this goes for everyone. And what we're seeing as a reoccurring pattern and cycle. So when we wrote this book, we didn't just write this book based off of someone's experience. We wrote this book based off of science, based off of understanding transformation in performance, which we're missing that layer of understanding the identity and the structural domains in the internal design. And once we have a better understanding, it goes back to Blue Dog, Twin, Blue Bull, when we talked about the I am going within. See, it's harder for women to seek the I am because they was not made in God's image.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Well,
he said
yeah.
he made men in his image. Everything else that came from a woman was going to be cursed. So a woman, right? Even though, yes, the man did bite the apple too, because I know the women gonna come after me, but understand that man was in union with that woman. So he said, man, dag, I gotta go with it. I gotta go with her. He gave me her. I gotta protect her. I gotta become safety for her. And
Wow.
so when you think about her being emotional, it's like a loss. Like, Dad, look at what I have done to humanity. I've cursed. Everything that comes from me is now cursed.
Right? Yes.
So I mean, we can tell our children, hey, this is how you should date. You should fall into be submissive. But what about their internal design?
Yeah, I think, well, I know I may have a different a perspective on the biblical text when you're speaking of the Adam and Eve story. You know, my intake on that is Eve was introduced to evil through the serpent, and Eve brought to evil or delivered evil into the world through the child. And that's a different perspective.
No, I'm no same perspective. I'm not. I
The
just
same
didn't want to go
perspective.
that deep with it. Yes,
Okay, well, yeah,
we're in
and so
alignment.
and so and when it comes to this topic, what we can we say that lust could be a source of evil, along with the uh, the outcome of the lust, which would be uh, harsh feelings, jealousy, envy, greed. Do those come from the lust? Because you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
It's a containment.
yeah.
Is
So yeah.
go ahead.
When you think of man made in God's image, my perspective is man made in God's image was his characteristics, happy, sad, these emotions that is attached to the God sense. This is where I feel like love, evil. What else would be another? You follow where I'm going with the
No,
lady?
because God was the first mirror.
Huh?
Because God was the first mirror, not the mirror of appearance, but the mirror of truth.
Got you. Okay. So yeah. So we go with we're on the same page with that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the distortion comes from the lust.
Okay. So are we speaking that more or less the serpent brought in the confusion of the two? I believe that
the internal shift, which caused the internal shift. Because before, notice they didn't have no bird, no nothing.
Right.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the first disruption in humanity. And so when that disruption came, they didn't know how to cope with distortion, the internal change, why I feel the way I feel. Remember, they were naked. So now they're like, I didn't see you like this before, but now I see you.
Once again, I'm not naked. People would think from the physical aspect of not having clothes on, but when you see somebody, you see their vulnerability. You see their shyness. You see their shame when you're naked. This is what I like to say. The characteristics that I believe was adopted from the gods was the mundane characteristic that can't be touched or viewed, and that would be the attitudes.
So in other words, you can say that the man looks at himself, he may not see his identity, but he sees pressure, right? That's what happened. He sees the pressure to lead, the pressure to provide, the pressure to be strong, the pressure to suppress. And whereas the woman looks at herself and she may not see her identity, but she sees expectation to be chosen, right? That's where we're going. The expectation to be understood, the expectation to be valued, and the expectation to be secure. So what we're saying from these studies of identity and understanding the structural domains that disrupts, right, the identity is that neither of these are the original design, but because of the fall, that is what now we deal with as humanity. And so they are responses to our fracture mirror. So we got to go back into alignment. We have to return back into alignment for those that do not understand who they are or don't understand the within the I am within them.
Right.
Because
Yeah. Wait, bro, what did you say you got her from? This girl
You said
cold,
what?
you cold blooded with it, huh?
You said, huh?
You cold blooded with it. What brings me the most joy? What
Well, we
brings me the
trying to get
most
to look.
yeah,
I got my publishing. I just turned it over to them today. We trying to get it done before when I say this is a cold-blooded book, it's a
yeah,
cold-blooded book. I'm telling you. And this is from
right,
studies. Like I said, I'm not trying to change anyone's perception. I'm not trying to fix. What we have done is we have identified how to get back in union, how to get back in alignment. If you want to know why the behavior, why the mindset, it's really looking internally at yourself, because a lot of the things that is happening is what you're attracting. But if you don't know why you're attracting those things, and people keep saying, oh, it's the trigger, it's the patterns, it's no, it's a little that, right? And so
yeah,
all we're saying is that there is moments that's gonna, there's gonna be those moments that's gonna resonate that so deeply that it's gonna cause you to pause. It's gonna be those moments where you recognize yourself in the words, in the pages, because this is the first to be studied. So y'all are actually the first to know about the book, first and foremost.
not us now. Then you got the whole world knowing about it.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, what I was initially going to say, I love when I get a great sense of enlightenment within a soul, and I see you have been enlightened on a lot of things, and like I say, I'm like I say, I take my hat off to
Blue
you.
Bull started it. Blame Blue Bull. And we had some conversations, and I had to go back and I had to do some research, and I said, okay, I see where this is going. And believe it or not, the books that I had wrote previously, those weren't even the first book. This ended up being the first book. And it had to take me back to the beginning, because people don't even understand. They think that no, there's nothing new under the sun. And there's nothing new under the sun. So these are situations that have been going on since humanity has been here on earth. We're been more aware of what they say. We're now awakening. We got the awoke people that have returned, and then we had the people that has done the work. And it's just fortunate across YouTube, and Blue Bull took the opportunity to sit down to break some things about your identity as twins. And it made me have to do some more research and see what was out there. And what I realized is, even through y'all two's identity, that it was something structural beneath that people don't even understand if you're not a twin.
Yes, yes. That's
Right.
like I say, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The title of your book is, what are you at liberty to reveal the title of your book, or you just want to hold it?
Am I the drama, or am I the disruption?
Okay, yeah. So
When you look at relationships, that's the question you're asking yourself: am I the drama, or am I the disruption? And you will find yourself that you're both. And there's nothing wrong with neither one. You just got to understand, how do I stabilize what's internally not being structured?
yeah, that is awesome. I like the way you have it's and I don't like to use the word negative, but it's a double entendre, meaning it's the same thing. You follow me? Yeah, it's the same thing. So it's like, it makes you pay attention to self, not what's on the outside, not who you're in a relationship with. It makes you pay attention to who you are in the relationship, who you are as somebody in a relationship. And that's what I really like about that. It's a clever way of looking at things, and that's what I'm, like I say.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. Even the subject.
So think of it like this: when structure is lost, right? people either gonna overcompensate or they gonna withdraw. Who gonna overcompensate? The woman. She gonna give emotions. She's gonna action. With the man, he withdraw. Why? Because he's trying to internalize, he's trying to process, and he's trying to come at peace with himself. See, women take that as he's withdrawing from me. He's shutting down on me. A man takes it as she's too needy. But they're carrying internal instability they have not named. So the relationship becomes the place where it surfaces, not always loudly, but consistently. So it can be like the communication that feels off, and the reaction that feels bigger than the moment, and misunderstanding that's repeated, right? In the distance that grows without explanation. And both people feel it, but guess what? They often interpret it differently. And so how do they interpret it differently? Okay, you got this. One feels unseen. Who's that? The woman. The other feels unappreciated. So the one feels overwhelmed, the woman, and the other disconnected. One pursues and then the other withdraws. And they try to fix it through behavior, more communication, more effort, or more compromising. But understand this, but the behavior cannot stabilize what is structurally. So the cycle continues. Why is the cycle going to continue? Because they do not care. But because they are trying to solve something they cannot yet see. And what they cannot see, a man who is not aligned may attempt to control instead of lead, right? And that's what we have problems with these days. Or he may disengage. He feels inadequate to carry the weight. Okay, a woman who is not aligned, she attempts to control instead of being what? Supportive. Or she may overextend.
Wow, she done froze on us again. But I tell you what, you left a great thought. You leaving great thoughts as you are speaking, and it shows me that you have really did a lot of observing different relationships, different accounts from different people, and it shows that. And I guess you probably have to come back in.
Yeah, she probably do that.
Another thing.
Yeah.
Do
Again,
that
family,
again.
we're here. The best live ever. What we love, we love.
Because they are responding from disruption. And that's what really, I gotta cut it. Can you hear me?
We are hear you now.
Okay. So what I was ending with is, instead of them complimenting each other, they compete with each other. Not because they're designed to, but because they are responding from disruption. And let me tell you something, disruption is not bad, people. It's not bad. This is the part of returning to an alignment. This is what pastors won't teach you. Therapy won't teach you. None of them will teach you this stuff. This is all new discovery. And you getting it live here with the Xerox twins. They ain't know I was bringing it. Look, they ain't say, they're like, what? Look.
Yeah. You bringing some noise.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely doing that.
Yeah. So my thing is this. With that being said, is this a taught behavior? Is our environment what's causing us to react or not react accordingly? Is it a way, or should it be a way that we can do things naturally? One of the things we had some students on last week, and I asked them, what did they want to be when they were children? And so us being and changing the mindset of that child, telling them what they need to be, may have made it where they ain't the best that they can be. So in relationships, us saying what relationships are supposed to be about, how they're supposed to be, is that us taking away from our best of being in a relationship? Are you following what I'm saying?
This is okay. That's a loaded question. I'll tell you what I share with my son
Mm-hmm.
working on this piece with a number of people in structure analysis. I communicate with my son like he's an adult. I express to him what emotions are. I express to him the different type of relationships he will encounter. He's in school. These kids is seeing more than what we were at our age. I talk, I communicate, I correct behavior, and I let him know that what I'm teaching him now, he may not understand, but later in life he will. And I think a lot of parents, I keep hearing this gentle parenting. And I tend to question that because the world is not gentle. And so it's very important that we share our experiences and what we go through. Because believe it or not, our kids already know. In fact, if we pay attention to our kids can teach us.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we are in that in an era and time where our children will be the teachers of us. Through the information age and what have you, where they're getting information at a alarming rate, where we are actually kind of stiff on in a sense, because we're dealing with our wisdom versus our information. But and may I ask, how old is your son?
He's 12. He about to be 13.
Okay, so of course, the girls and stuff come into play, very early nowadays, whatever. With that being said, do you tell him how to deal with opposite sex relationships or relationships, period?
I talk to him about everything.
Mm.
It first starts at home. So even for single mothers, we hear a lot about single mothers with boys. Do not cuddle your boys. Teach them. He been opening up doors since he was 5 years old. You open the door for I don't touch no door with him. I don't touch the door. I don't touch the trash, the recycle, and I don't cut the grass.
Right.
That's an
I teach him.
expectation.
Huh?
That's an expectation. That's a male expectation.
But he seen me do it first as a single mother cutting grass.
Okay.
So let me, and I like to cut grass. I'm sorry, I can be feminine, but I like to cut grass.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is we have to teach them. We have to teach them. We have to show them. So my thing is I'm teaching him about money management. I'm teaching him about the little girls. There's girls that he liked. There's confrontations that he has had with them. I teach him you don't put your hands on girls unless you have somebody you can talk to. You need to express your emotions. It's okay for you to express your emotions. Even through this study of learning about men and learning about a woman, it helps me to be able to communicate with him. And that's what this work is all about, is to help us to learn more about who we are and not this tick for tat, because we are not getting nowhere. We're getting further divided in all areas, race, color, income. And that's not the world that our kids feel comfortable in. That's why they're so regressive, but at the same time they're defiant. And
Well, I believe that first of all, it's the lack of love for self, and the lack of love for self is a lack of knowledge of self. One of the things that I always speak of is that our babies don't know how, haven't learned how to love themselves in order to love others. How do we?
But have they seen? This is the problem.
Uh-huh.
Have they seen love?
Right.
Have they seen love? So you talk about the environment. That's why it's important. I don't care what my community say. I don't care what the Black woman says. She can counsel me. She can do what she first of all, she can't even counsel herself, let alone want to counsel people. First of all, we got to understand that if we never was taught love or seen love, then what's so wrong about learning from other cultures? What's so wrong about integrating? They learn about us, but we too that we can't learn from others as well.
Right.
I got a question.
And we don't have stability. We don't have stability, but we want our kids to have stability, but they have yet to see a stable relationship. Then who's going to be the example? There's nothing wrong. I'm in a community that's diverse. And believe it or not, I tell my son, I said, it's a dang on shame. I'm the single one on this whole dang on street. I said, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. I said, I don't want to raise you like this. We got to show our kids. I'm teaching him now that this, you see that man over there, he has a family. That man over there, he has a family. It is not good to be by yourself, son. It is not good to just be within your community. It's okay to learn from others, because if it's not here, you can get it from someone else and you can see the proper way in how to do it. Sorry, I was left in motherhood. The first child, I was forced into motherhood through sexual assault. The second one, I was left in motherhood. It wasn't by choice. It had nothing to do with, oh, they a thug. No, we have got to stop that. So I find other alternatives and other ways to teach my son. I put him in the Sigma Beta Club. There are things that we can do. I got him in he plays soccer. Unfortunately, no, his coaches do not look like him. But guess what? His coaches have no problem in mentoring him and telling him where he's falling short at. They have no problem with disciplining him. And I don't have no problem with that, because I can't get daddy to do it. I can't get another Black man to do it, because too many Black men is like, I'm taking care of mine. Where you got other races out here that they don't mind taking other kids up under their wing. That's a problem that we have. We only think of self, but then we want to protect the culture. You can have this garbage. I don't want the culture. What I want is the stability.
Yeah. So do you think that it's cultivated us in the school system, right? The school system is a cultivated. We just had some students last week, and I was showing the disparities between the inner city and more or less the suburbs, and how the inner city don't have the counseling about trying to go to college and that type of career and what have you, the resources, where more or less in the suburbs they have.
Are you getting ready to go there with me? Are you getting ready to go there with me?
Or what is it?
Because you got all these educated Black women, quote unquote, and you telling me they can't go back to the inner city and give back. Once again, we're going to keep pitting up the suburbs and how they invest in their kids' education. You got women out here investing in fake bags, fake hair, BBLs. They must ain't too concerned about their kids' education. Stop pointing at these. Look, I live out here with these people. Let me tell you something. When they was trying to segregate Keller ISD, don't white women stood up. white women, white men. They was at that Board of Education till 2 a.m. in the morning to protest against that. You can't even get black people to get out and vote for their own interests, but they want everybody else to have their own interests. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do about live. It's about this stuff.
She froze again. Wow.
Yeah, again, family,
Yeah.
we're here. Best Live Ever. We have Miss Tasha Mack. Hey man, telling us.
Writer.
Yeah, she running it down, taking us down through there. Again, this is the Best Live Ever. What we love, we laugh, and
And
we
we
learn
learn how to live
our best life together.
Yeah.
Man, listen, this is why we have we bring the best of the best, right? Because we want you to know and understand that everybody and all of us are doing our due diligence to try to make this a better life for us all.
All of us.
Again, Tasha, we lost you when you was talking about being out there and how they support and we don't support and we don't get out and do. Can you continue that?
Yeah, I'm just what I'm saying is we talk a good game when it comes to drama, negative drama, negative disruption. But when it comes to supporting a better way of living, better way of education, a better way of doing business, co-creating, we don't have it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
We are the number one consumer. We are the number one consumer, yet we don't know how to come together to have our own grocery stores, have our own businesses. Yet we
Right.
mad because they put who they wanted to put in office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is this, Tasha. What I was speaking about is that the disenfranchisement. You know, first of all, we weren't given the liberty to learn and do those things, right? And we were forced. We was forced to be singled out. We were forced to not like each other.
How long
We were
ago
forced-
was that? How long ago was that? How long ago was
It's
that?
still going on. It's still going on today,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, but my
So
thing
one of-
about it is that
one
all
of the
that can
force-
be changed.
Huh?
All that can be changed. All that can be changed if we
Okay,
all
then.
came together. If we had our
Right,
priorities
but-
together, all of that can change.
But the thing about that is this. Believe it or not, if we can't even assemble without them breaking it up, right? We can't even walk singly without them breaking it up. And so again, it's a forced.
What are we walking? What are we walking for? What are we protesting? I don't get it.
We don't have to protest, right? I'm just saying, me being just walking by myself, they're going to pull up and be nosy. They're going to investigate. They're going to break it up. That type of. They're going to disturb in every way possible. Yeah. And so my thing is, we're not in it by ourselves because they are meddling and they have their hands in everything that we do. The way that they can do what they do is that we don't meddle and do what they and interfere with what they got going on, right? We can't even go in their neighborhoods at a certain time. We can't interfere with what they got going on, but they interfere with us. And the interference is also the interference of our minds. And so this is
unstable.
Right.
Talk about.
And so what I'm saying is this. If our environment cultivated for us not to get along with each other, for us to have peaceful relationships, right? Is it cultivated for us to dislike one another? Is it cultivated for us not to be able to come together and get together because of someone on the outside infiltrating us and doing our business and doing our lifestyle in our peace? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that's
no one is telling you not to like your own? No one is telling you not to have a family. No one is telling you not to marry that woman. No one is telling you not to go visit your kids. No one is telling you not to go pay your child support. That is your identity. That's what you don't want to do. Period. The end. There's no one holding a gun up to you. I understand what you're saying from back in the day, but I mean, times have changed. And if we're gonna keep living on that, I mean, come on now, our kids don't even they don't even know who referee what's his name, Reverend Jesse Jackson is, Al Sharpton. They only know about Martin Luther King because he has a birthday. They don't even know about that stuff. So my thing about it is we're gonna keep on bringing up things from the past instead of being the change makers that we need to be today.
Well,
And my thing is, I'm not going to be living in the past. I created a whole new science field. I'm not thinking about what somebody is doing to me. What I is, it ain't my people that's helping me. I went to the black man to ask him for help. I went to the black woman and asked her for help. Not one call, not one return email. But what I do know is that man that don't look like me called me up and said, it's go time, T. Let me give you my publishing company. Let me do this. Let me help you. Here's the timeline. This is what we about to do. And
Well,
he don't have to do that. So my thing about it is, who's holding us back but ourselves? We don't want to see the next person get ahead because we all think about individual goals.
But again, the mindset was cultivated by what? By who? See,
First of all, my mindset is only the age of my birth. It has nothing to do about my past. Now, if you still living in your past, that's what's structurally wrong with you, that you don't know that you can change. That's why you have those that have and those who have not. Look up the richest billionaire black man and listen to his conversations and what he had to do. Listen to John Hope Operation, who has a non-for-profit organization, free, offering business coaching and financial literacy. We out here taxing our own people when we got free resources over here. And it's legit resources at that.
Right. Well, you
And there's a lot of resources, and I'm not knocking what y'all saying. What I'm saying is,
well,
I'm
my
giving
thing
you
is
all
this.
a different perspective. Y'all got y'all perspective. I'm
Well,
showing you a different.
we got our truths because again, we had a conversation with some teenagers last week in a school that didn't have and one that did have, right?
So
And
why can't the community or the parents in that school that do not have come together and get those kids what they want? They can get the fresh new pair of Jordans. They can have
because they're not gonna give it to us.
Let me hand you something real quick.
It sounds feasible.
Yeah.
But when you have people working against you it's almost like I pay you my money for you to take it away from me and give me bits of pennies and kibbles and bits. And so you take that, not only that, you construct laws against me so that I can't do that, right? And it's not that we're lazy. It's not that we don't know no better. It's that we've been taught something different, and now we are actually afraid to do anything different. We are how can I put it? We are in a position where we don't believe no more. We can't see. We can't.
Whose problem is that? Because you got JC that had the Hard Knock Life song. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock. So it's a hard knock life. That don't mean that that's going to be their destiny. That don't mean that that's going to be their future. And what did I say? That gentle parenting, they have to understand the reality of the world is not easy for anybody.
Let me give you an example. You there?
Yes.
You listening? Okay. First of all, let me go back to your Keller ISD wanting to desegregate. I wish those people wouldn't have gone to that meeting and allowed them to segregate us. That was our biggest downfall in our world, in America, when we allowed them, when we asked for integration. Okay. Second of all, what Twin is speaking of is this. If, knock on wood, if my home was burning, and the fire wagon, the fireman was there, and I happened to walk down the sidewalk and see my house burning, and I like, wait, I got a dog upstairs. They would not allow me to go inside my home to rescue my dog because they are put in place. The police would arrest me for even attempting to go inside my home to rescue you understand, my dog. So this is the same way with the city. As far as you're speaking of getting stores and anything that you think that we could get, they stiff arm us from anything, and it's all like a guardrail. The guardrail is sometimes not to keep you from running off the road, but to keep you on the road. They put us on a road for destruction. And this is what our children go through, what the twin was speaking of. We are, right? We are guarded
at all times.
At all times to go in one position like that of a railroad or a train.
Exactly.
The train only goes one direction, but if you ride the bus, you can go several directions around the city. So you have to understand, we are on the railroad, the chain gang, and they are riding the bus. So they are navigating, a group of them are navigating together at the same time, where we are hoboing, jumping on the train when it's slowed down enough for us to get on it. You follow me? Taking whatever we have to jump on the train, and our hobo sticks with the handkerchief and clothes on the back of. We try to do whatever we can in which to go into a direction, and we don't know what's at the end of the railroad.
Guess
So
what?
go ahead.
I ain't going down your path. I'm gonna tear that guardrail up, and I'm gonna use every strong piece of metal I got to create another pathway.
But
Sometimes we have to.
You know what metal you're leaning on? You know what metal you're leaning on?
Your own piece.
You're leaning on the metal that's gonna hold your son back. He's gonna allow you to get through, but not your son. I guarantee you, those men that you're calling and that whatever, get them, introduce them to a melanated man, and see if they would do the same thing for that melanated man that they do for you.
Now that's a whole nother discussion, because I know where you're going with this.
We gotta get back to the book.
Look, Red
We
Bull,
gotta get back
I
to the
know
book.
where you're going with this one. They'll
Yeah.
use the black woman to hold up. I got you. But
Yeah,
you know what?
This is
I'm
our,
telling you, sometimes we gotta change. We
Right.
have to change our mindset and see things. What happened back then, you have to see what it is that you want now. I know it's for a lot of people. Let me tell you something. I lost everything 5 years ago. I was left to die in this house. I was homeless, foreclosed, and I call it bougie homeless, living out of a BMW. And I was like,
we won't get the rest of that story. Look like once again, family, we added we don't moved off the topic a little bit.
Well, no, I mean it's really talking about disenfranchised and how our mindset is cultivated.
Okay.
Just like our environment,
Yes.
our mindset is cultivated, which also deal with our relationships with one another.
Yeah,
And one of the things that I bring about, and this is why I continue to say that we are not giving the liberty to do certain things and what have you. And this is why we are in the state that we're in now, because someone is infiltrating us. Someone is telling us that this is that you're lazy. Someone is telling us that you can't have that job. Someone is telling us that you can't be an entrepreneur. And someone is not just telling us, they're showing us at the same time,
Showing you-
right? That you can't walk these streets. Someone is telling us that you don't belong on this side of town. Someone is telling us that you don't belong in these clothes. Someone is telling us this at all
You don't
times.
belong in that car.
Right. So
Like a
again,
BMW.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
But
again,
I'm just
y'all,
saying, I'm not saying that this stuff does not exist because there is adversity out there. But what I'm saying is there is hope out there, and there
Mhm.
are different pathways out there. I know it. I just came through some trying times in my life, and I
Mhm.
literally no one was there. And I mean this from the bottom. No one's coming to save us. So stop complaining and start
Mhm.
creating pathways. We have the answers. You know, we keep playing on them. It's more of them than it is of us. But yet we are so blessed and we have came so far that we don't even be grateful for the moment that we have. Look at how
Right.
we live in comparison to our ancestors if you want to go.
Yeah,
Right.
it stopped, but I think our ancestors had it better. Just my
Because they
own
had
opinion,
each other.
Because
Right.
they had each other.
They
yeah.
had each other. And so again, yeah, no, we're not knocking what you're speaking of or what
Right.
have you. And tell the truth, we're somewhat playing the devil's advocate in the awareness
Mhm.
that we have to get away
From
and break
them.
away from
From
them
them.
in order for us to get where
Yeah.
we need to go.
Our way out is to get out from up under
Right.
there.
The naysayers.
The
Yeah,
naysayers.
yeah. Again, what we were speaking about. So this is our thing. Again, family. Hey man, make sure that you like, share, and follow all the Zip-Rock Twins social media. That's Zip-Rock Star with a Z and
It
ends with a Z.
Man, we
Again,
going down through that.
Man, listen. Hey man, we want you guys. We're gonna do call and response. We want you guys to look at our shows and start commenting so that we can go back and bring about that what you're speaking of.
we can
What's happening,
start bringing
Eric?
those-
How's it going? Of course, our sister here,
Miss
Miss Tarina,
Jimmy.
is on as well. Family, what we're doing? What's happening, Jimmy? You know what I'm saying? Oh man, 808 in the house as
Man,
well.
Tony Reed, man.
Man,
Yeah.
oh Tony, man, listen, Tony, we need you on the show, baby.
Yeah, most definitely.
Make sure that you are Miss Berry. You know what I'm saying? Much love and respect. Hey, we just came from Spring Bling. Do not miss it again. We had so much fun,
Man,
family.
Yeah.
Let me see. My sister, she said, SCORE is supposed to help, but the people I met couldn't help me. Wasn't familiar with the business, is what I was told. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that.
She wasn't familiar with her. They wasn't familiar
Familiar
with
with-
her business.
Right.
Is what she was told.
What's happening, Miss? Hey, Miss Davis, how's it going? Much love and respect. But hey, family, again, we got to first of all, we gotta separate ourselves from the naysayers. We gotta separate ourselves from those who are infiltrating us. We gotta separate ourselves, even if they, you know what I'm saying, are copper-colored people. And this is why we always say we all we got and we all we need. The we don't mean that we have the same hue, right? Again, Miss Matt, can you hear us?
Yep. And I was saying, ain't nobody coming to save us, right? We're gonna have to save each other.
But we have to save each
Yeah.
other. Again, thank you so
Go back
much
and give back.
for what, babe. We're gonna have to have you again. Again, tell us about your book.
I want to ask you about your book as well. The different subjects in your book. How many different chapters do you have? And am I asking? too much?
Yes. What are some of the topics?
You want to know some of the topics? Yes.
Names of the
chapters.
topics. The names of your
Okay.
chapters.
So there's 16 chapters. This is a book that has it's reflective questions that's in it. It
Okay.
takes you to the original design. Before the fall, there was the assignment that talks about identity before distortion. You had
Okay.
the first mirror, which talks about how identity is formed through the reflection, and then the role of covering, connection, and clarity. You have the assignment of the man and the woman, And then part 2 is the disruption, the voice that shifted everything. And then 5 is the moment identity fracture, that talks about the decision that changed everything from awareness to self-consciousness, fear and hiding. And then you have chapter 6, which is when alignment is broken, how both participated in the fall. Okay. The breakdown of trust, leadership, and connection, which are the things that we are experiencing in relationships, and why blame became the new language. And that's what we're seeing today. Then we talk about in part 3, the birth of grief. A lot of people think grief is from bereavement, mourning. No, Adam and Eve was the evolution of grief. So grief did not start with death. The first loss was the identity, the separation from God or yourself, spiritual, however you want to see it, self and each other. And why grief is the weight of disconnection. The curse was the punishment. It was actually the exposure. The internal war between men and women, the desire versus the leadership, control versus the protection, why relationships become survival based, modern day expressions, am I the drama or the disruption, behavior versus root cause, why cycles keep repeating, and then the mirror of self-awareness. And then you have, yes, what men learned after the fall, why men process internally. This is for the women. So the women can back up off my man, okay? You know I love my man. I love my man, my man, my man. Ladies, back up off my man. I got boys, back up off of them. Yeah. Why men process internally the pressure to perform or provide, and then the silent burden of your identity. And then women, what women learned after the fall. Women, I need for y'all to dig a little bit deeper than the surface level of where y'all been. I need for y'all to understand that silence and still is the movement. And I'm not just talking about isolation, okay? Why women seek connection and reassurance. Is your connection about drama, or is it about disruption? Wanting someone to fill the void that is structurally have not been built, that needs to be built by you, not by your man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Listen, well, we're going to have to have you back again. Much love.
Wait a minute, I got 3 more. Wait a minute.
Wow.
The one, the emotional awareness versus the emotional overwhelm. And then the need to feel safe, seen, and chosen. The attraction is not the problem. There's 14 principles through the structural lens. Why people bond the way they do. How broken identity shapes connection. And then restoring the structure. Returning to the I am from survival to structure. Rebuilding relationships from alignment. And then the structure was always there. Letting you know it was always there. It's just the early pattern and recognition. So the book is not a book that you read. The book is a book that you use for reflection. And then there's a pathway you through. So yeah, it's a very thorough book. It is based off of the other 7, 8 interdisciplinary science field of human development, performance, and transformation. What we're saying is this is the evolution from observation to structure analysis and stabilization. So in other words, we're removing the stigma of mental health. We're removing those barriers because this is the structural layer gap that was missing, is stabilization.
Oh,
not everybody has a chemical imbalance.
Boy,
I told y'all wasn't ready. I told y'all wasn't ready.
I tell you, Miss Tasha Mack, you know, we're gonna have to have a discussion while you single over there. Again, family, we're here with the best live ever do. Well, we love you, laugh and return.
I ain't gonna say it, but we already had that. We'll see.
Man,
He said to be feminine is to be classy, and to be classy, you can't be taught. So I'm still kind of perplexed by that. And I'm not going to do this.
Again, I was going to touch on that with you earlier, but we're talking, bruh. She's saying that we're gonna have you back.
Yeah, I'm loving Your book, I'm loving it. I got to get me a copy.
Yeah,
I definitely got to get me a copy of that.
yeah.
I'm
You know
not
what I'm
much
saying?
of a reader, but I am.
Man, hey, coming
Very
from the
much intrigued.
biblical text at that. So, family, y'all make sure that y'all look it up. It's
But
in.
I'm gonna
It's in
tell you
French.
this: it's not
Okay.
not religious and it's not biblical. It only touches on the surface of Adam and Eve, but everything else is about stabilization and transformation and
Well,
understanding both sides.
Fantastic. Again, when is going to be? Will it be printed? And when can we start looking for it?
Look, I'll let you know
Okay.
when my publishing company get back. I just sent over the manuscript.
Hey,
Yes.
as soon as it do, of course, we're gonna have you on the show again. Again, thanks DS Sounds for doing what he do. Hey, baby, in the closing remarks.
I just want to say I thank twins. I appreciate your followers for chiming in. When I come back, you can look me up. I am Coach Tasha Mack on IG, Coach Tasha Mack on Facebook, and I am definitely on LinkedIn. And you can also find me on my website at Coach Tasha Mack, or I am Coach Tasha Mack. And believe it or not, I am the real, live, and improved Coach Tasha Mack.
Oh wow, ain't that something?
Getting it.
Again, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
And hey man, who you are. Again, we're the Xerox Twins. I'm Blue Bull.
I'm Red Bull.
You know what I'm saying? We go live and we do what we do in order for you guys to know what's going on, man.
At home
And abroad.
abroad.
Hey, listen, hey man, again, Wednesday nights, y'all got us. Wednesday nights from 8
Best live ever.
to 9, the best live ever, of course. We got something for the people where we go live for the bereaved, sick, and shut in. Man, we got DS Sounds in the background making us putting us on Front Street,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? Putting us on the stage, putting us on the platform.
Man, much love.
Doing what he
Yeah.
can and what he have to do in order to make sure that you guys see the Xerox Twins
Man, he been
doing what we
hanging
do.
in there for
Oh man,
years.
what? You know what I'm saying? That's Big D. What you talking about? And y'all, if y'all didn't know, this is Cleopatra. You know what I'm saying? Cleo. You know what I'm saying? Here in my lap. Again, family, much love and respect, bro. We
Man.
always in social
Man,
media. What?
first of all, we got to send an invitation for an invitation.
Exactly, family.
So yeah, once again, anybody that want to come on the show, we sending our invitation to come in, or we're sending out invitation for an invitation. If you want us to attend, man, we went to church with a young lady.
Oh yeah, we was invited to church.
You know,
Right, we end up
regardless as to
right.
our belief system, but we still gonna support.
Oh, we
That's
support,
where we can.
support.
Yeah. With that, man, I want to just end off with what we normally do.
What's that, man?
My thing is to be humble, become more knowledgeable. That way you won't be vulnerable.
And I always say, we all we got. And we all we need. Love and become lovable. All right, family. Next week, the best live ever.
Man.
Again, thank you so much, Miss
Right.
Tasha Mack, for what you do.
Make sure
Hey,
y'all
man.
like, share, and follow.
Exactly. Y'all stay tuned for that book. And man, listen,
Man, I
again
can't
for another but man, listen, we're gonna go down through there and we're gonna break those chapters down next go around. Again, family, one of the things we want you to know and understand is this: we must love ourselves, right? Start loving one another so that we can make this a better environment, a better place, a better world, and we can do it.
Man, we
Right.
have to sing one, make one of them. We Are the World.
We are the world songs, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that right, Cleasy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing our thing again, family. We out of here. DS Sounds. Hey man, get us out of here, man.
Next go round, family.